Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as you guys know, this ESPN firing thing is probably the number one thing right now in sports media. We've had some people message us, "Hey, why don't you talk about basketball?" I'm like, "What basketball are you talking about? What you want me to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What do you want me to talk about? What? Damian Lillard made another request. Nobody, bro. Come on, where you live at? This is by far the most interesting thing right now that people are the most interested in. And this morning I was doing a little bit of research, as I always do, and going through the internet, and I couldn't really find much. And then one of the people we work with here at Dreamerspro, he sent me this information about Jalen Rose. Recently had some comments to say about his firing at ESPN. I was like, okay, really? So I combed through the internet to kind of get to see if I could find an article or an audio. And luckily I was able to find an audio. Now in this audio, you have Jalen Rose driving in a car, going somewhere, coming from somewhere, and he's talking. Now, to give you guys a quick backstory, Jalen Rose, and when you hear him singing that song, what he's referring to is the Biggie song. You're Nobody, right? That's the name of the song. So he starts off the video singing that song, and then he goes on to say a bunch of things in what I believe to be a very cryptic message, a cryptic video. Rather, he was saying a lot of things where it left people to kind of read between the lines. So what we want to do is play exactly what Jalen Rose said here about his firing from ESPN, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to what Jalen Rose had to say here.
You're nobody till somebody you. You're nobody till somebody you. Watch Casino. I'm the hip hop version of Nicky Tarantino. Ask Nino, he know. Green with envy. Anyway, the last one got cut off. That Notorious was hitting too hard. So, listening to that record actually is what made me want to go live. And like I said before, wishing you a blessed and glorious day. A couple of things. If you ever want to work in this industry, the thing you're going to learn real quick is people are too simple to even attack what you say. Because they're so vicious, they're going to attack you. Certain features about you, certain characteristics about you, certain personal things about you. And also in working in multimedia, it's like being an official if you good. Which means when the ref blow the whistle, whichever team get the call is happy. Whoever the call goes against, the team is upset. Might even get a technical arguing the call. So you could dislike what I say or agree with me or disagree with me. It's fine. All good. But note to everybody out there, if you want to do this, people ain't going to just attack what you say. They attack you. And also, being where I'm from, more than a jock that doesn't just shut up and dribble, that's a philanthropist that gives back to his community, I'm sicker than your average. I'm more of a threat. So there will be certain people with certain political beliefs that just don't like me because I think I'm woke. And that term has clearly been hijacked. And so, again, I didn't get a chance to elaborate on the point, and maybe I didn't stick the landing. Maybe it was an irrelevant point that I was trying to make about the Heat in Miami when they were playing the Knicks. And I referenced the fact that when you're in Miami, you got to be conscious of the sun because it creates dehydration and tiredness. If you've ever been in New York City, especially this time of year, or in Miami this time of year, it's a different lifestyle. When you're in Miami and you're not in the gym, you're laying by the pool, you're walking on the beach, you're not in your hotel room, you're outside enjoying the weather and enjoying the sun. It can dehydrate you. That's what I was referencing. And again, maybe it's an irrelevant point to most people. Maybe it's a wrong point overall. But I know that the Heat don't play outside. I actually played in their arena. But I do know this. When the Nuggets, who drafted me, have a game, the altitude matters. Not as much for the home team because they live there. It's an adjustment for the road team.
So you heard what he had to say. Now, to be quite honest with you, I think it was very difficult for the majority of us to decipher. He spoke about a lot of things, but he wasn't saying anything in particular. But I know a lot of what he had to say because the video is actually much longer. It's about a 12-minute video, but we didn't want to play that because it's too long, right? We don't want to play that to bore you guys. But he actually went on to talk about, you know, people attack you for who you are, and I guess instead of some of the things you say. Then he brought up the term woke, which is something I want to touch on momentarily here. I've been hearing the word woke get thrown all over the internet. And funny enough, I've been out of the States for a while, but I've been following what's happening in the States here and there. And here's my understanding of the term woke. Initially, I had heard the term in a Meek Mill song where he said something like, stay woke. And at the time, I thought that what Meek Mill was referring to at that time was like be aware or always remain on alert. And I think that what Meek Mill's probably meant, based on what I understood, was that be aware of the things that may be happening to you. I'm assuming in this case it's blacks. Like be aware of the games and the games that are being played. That's what I understood woke to be at the time. But as time has progressed, I'm now hearing woke, the term woke, get thrown around differently. I'm hearing woke when they talk about, you know, some of the things that ESPN does, maybe some political decisions that some politicians made. This is a woke move, or, you know, maybe Disney, for example, they do a particular thing where Disney's woke. I'm hearing the term have more of like a broader meaning. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. Now, I know that there's some people out there that are not happy with the fact that there's so much politics in sports. And my suggestion to you guys, if you feel like there's too much politics in sports, because you guys know I don't discuss politics at all. I've made my feelings pretty clear. If I had to describe myself in terms of my political affiliations, I guess you can consider me a centrist, which is someone that listens to both sides and then makes my own decisions, I think, for myself. That's how I describe myself. Not to say that the way I describe myself is the best way to be. Meaning if you're a Republican or conservative, that it's bad, or if you're a liberal or Democrat, it's bad. No. I'm just describing how I see things, right? Not that it means that I'm better than the next person out there, But my suggestion is this: listen, if you don't want people to talk about politics and sports, you yourself just chill out a little bit. Because I've noticed a lot of people that are angry at the fact that they discuss politics and sports or this wokeness, they make a lot of political videos about it. Just relax. If you don't want to hear it talked about, now maybe these people are making videos to say, hey, listen, I'm pointing it out. I understand that, but there are a lot of people that don't want to hear politics discussed in sports, but they always talk about it. About politics. You're always talking about it. And instead you could just spend more time talking about sports itself and just ignore the issue altogether. But this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that I'm right or wrong. In the case of Jalen Rose, I don't really understand some of the things that he said. It was very, very cryptic. Very, very cryptic. It could seem like maybe he was targeted, like he mentioned some things as a video went on about various publications saying that he's stupid and all of these things. I don't know. I know that some people were upset with his Mount Rushmore comments and stuff like that. So I don't really know. Based on my understanding, based on all the information that we have, the reason that I believe Jalen Rose was let go from ESPN was because it was essentially to cut costs. But based on what he had to say, it could have been other things. So what I want to know from you guys is, based on what you heard Jalen Rose say, what do you think was the message he was trying to convey there? Right? What do you think he was truly trying to say? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show.